Okay, we'll be reading chapter 3 of You Don't Know Everything, Julie P. So if you're following along, we are starting on page 16. Chapter 3. Dad doesn't even bother to get out of the car at Aunt Alicia and Aunt Joanne's. He just waits until Aunt Alicia lets me in before heading back to the hospital. Inside, the dinner Aunt Alicia is cooking smells savory and delicious, like I could snack on the air itself. Aunt Alicia is black with dozens of straight, long locks running down her back. She's wearing dragonfly earrings and a red headband covered in tiny ladybugs. She gives me a huge hug and sets a pile of carrots to chop. The first floor of the house is big and open, with windows on all four sides letting in light and a view of Oakland. One corner of the room, portioned off by a low bookshelf, is filled with blocks, dolls, cars, and other toys that belong to my cousins Justin and Jamila, who are 3 and 5 years old. Officially, they're Aunt Alicia's kids from a marriage that she calls the biggest mistake in my life that just happened to include the 2 best things that have ever happened to me. To which Aunt Joanne says, "Number 3 ain't bad." "And how do you feel about chocolate cream pie to celebrate being a big sister?" Aunt Alicia asks. I give her a giant, cheesy grin until the sides of my face hurt. I take that as a yes. Yes, I nod ferociously, my jaw hanging against my collarbone. Aunt Alicia's chocolate cream pie is like diving into a chocolate sea with a graham cracker beach and fluffy moraine waves. When I'm done cutting carrots, I sit at the table and keep Aunt Alicia company while she juggles pots and pans on the stove. She asks what it's like to have a baby sister, and I tell her all about my visit to the hospital and seeing Mom in the bed that folded into the middle so she could sit up. "Yeah, sure, but what's it like? Sure, that's what it's like to have a mom giving birth, but what about Emma? Are you excited to be a big sister and show her how things are done in a Parillo home?" "Yeah, I can't wait till she's old enough that I can teach her how to cut vegetables, and then I'll be the head chef and she'll be my sous chef." Dad calls me his sous chef sometimes. It's a fancy way to say a sister who cuts all the vegetables. Aunt Alicia laughs. "Well, there are a couple steps between birth and wielding a chopping knife, but glad to hear you're ready to help teach her the ways of the kitchen." Jamila and Justin tumble into the house soon after, with Aunt Joanne a few steps behind them. Justin's hair is shaved close to his head, while Jamila's fluffy curls surround her face. They have matching toothy smiles. Aunt Joanne, white with short reddish-brown hair and purple glasses. Is white with short reddish-brown hair and purple glasses. She flops onto a kitchen chair while Justin and Jamila run around the table. "How was the park?" Aunt Alicia asks. "Great," says Jamila. "I jumped off the swing while it was still swinging and I didn't fall down." "We see 3 squalls," Justin said, poking his fingers into the air. 3 is his favorite number because he's 3 years old. "Perfect timing, hon." Aunt Joanne puts her arm around Aunt Alicia's waist and their lips touch briefly. Aunt Joanne is so tall and Aunt Alicia is so short that Aunt Alicia standing up isn't much taller than Aunt Joanne sitting down. Aunt Alicia turns to Justin and Jamila. "Well, dinner's ready. Go wash up." Soon we're all enjoying the meal. Jamila scrunches her face at the salmon. Aunt Joanne makes her try it, but she spits it back out and focuses on the carrots. Justin eats everything on his plate and is finished before any of the rest of us. He loves food, and when Aunt Alicia mentions chocolate cream pie, he literally falls out of his chair with excitement. "How you find the time to bake between your job, the kids, and me, I'll never know," says Aunt Joanne, her face radiating pleasure and pride. "And I'll never tell," Aunt Alicia gives a dimpled grin. Aunt Joanne turns to me. "On the days I'm supposed to cook, we usually go to Shandong. Unless it's Monday," Aunt Alicia says. "They're closed on Mondays. Then we get whatever's on special at Safeway." "I have many skills," Aunt Joanne says proudly. "Cooking is not one of them." "Thank you, Alicia, for gracing us with your talent." "Oh, it was nothing." Aunt Alicia waves her hand in the air, but her eyes let us know that her modesty doesn't run very deep. "I wish I could have a baby sister every day if it means food like this," I say. "It's a good thing your dad's such a great cook," says Aunt Alicia. "It's true. Mom makes a good meal, but Dad is the true chef in the family. Your mom's probably going to be exhausted with the baby. She's already been exhausted for the last 2 months. I can only imagine, says Aunt Joanne, turning to Aunt Alicia. I don't even know how you did it. So, how long after Justin was born did things get back to normal, I ask. Aunt Joanne looks at Aunt Alicia. Aunt Alicia looks at Aunt Joanne. They both look at me and then they start to laugh. At first, it's a single chuckle from Aunt Joanne, mirrored by Aunt Alicia. And then Aunt Alicia lets out another burst, followed by Aunt Joanne, until they're both howling. Justin and Jamila laugh along too, throwing their heads back and slapping at the table with their hands, even though I'm pretty sure neither of them have a clue what they're laughing about. Yeah, so I'm going to go with never. Aunt Joanne wipes her eyes. I wouldn't put it nearly that soon, says Aunt Alicia. Okay, I get it, I say. It'll never be the same again. Couldn't have said it better myself, Chili Bean, Aunt Alicia says, picks up her fork and digs into the salmon. When we're done with dinner and dessert, I want to go back to the hospital to see my Emma, with her teeny tiny fingers and her squishy little face. I miss Mom and Dad too, and I text Dad to ask him to pick me up for a morning visit, but he says that he will pick me up at school for an afternoon visit, and that they will be home for good on Tuesday, so I can see them all I want then. I wondered whether Emma will already look different, maybe a little less wrinkly. I pull Hearts and Arrows out of my bag and flop onto the couch. Hearts and Arrows is the second magically mysterious Vidalia novel. I already read it when it came out 2 months ago, but the third book, Roses and Thorns, isn't going to be released until next year, and I can't wait that long for more. The cover has smooth silver words with bumpy mountains in the background. I love to trace the letters with my fingers. Hearts. Hearts and Arrows is seriously the greatest book I have ever read. It's even better than Swords and Secrets, the first book in the series, which was my favorite book of all time until I read Hearts and Arrows. By the end of Roses and Thorns, Gwenella the half troll is going to glow solid green. I just know it. Didn't you finish that book? Aunt Alicia asked, sitting next to me with her own thick volume. Yeah, you do know other books exist, right? Yeah, but this one's so good. I mean, Gwenella is the best. I end up reading the same paragraph over and over. I sped through these pages last time, but now I know what's going to happen, and this part is a little slow. I mean, it's still Vidalia, so it's still good, but it's not as good as the other parts of the book. And right now, I've got a baby on my mind, too much to concentrate. I need to talk to someone. Aunt Alicia is deep in her book. Aunt Joanna is running a bath for Justin and Jamila and getting Jamila ready for bed. Mom and Dad are at the hospital, so I log on to Delacorte and open Young Vidalians. Jilly P has entered the chat. Hi, Jilly P. Profound in Oaktown is already here. Pull up a chair or spin yourself a web if you're the greatest spider and join in. Where the heck is everybody? A couple of people just logged off. The East Coast people probably already asleep. Oh, right. I'm not usually on this late. Where were you today? You're always here on Sunday. I was at the hospital. Oh, that sucks. No, it's good. My baby sister was born. In that case, congratulations. Her name's Emma, and she's tiny and adorable, and I get to hold her. Cool. But now I'm at my aunt's, and I'm bored. I'm bored too. That's why I was here, even though no one else was. I mean, I love my aunts and all, but I want to be back with my parents and Emma. I hate to complain. No, go ahead. You should. Today is officially complaint day. What you got? No, it's your turn. Okay, how about this? My mom had it out with me today because I didn't make my bed before I left for school last Monday. Ugh, making the bed is the worst. I mean, I'm just going to have to unmake it to get back in it later, right? I already gave the big bedroom to my sister because I stayed at school during the week. I should be able to keep my room the way I want it, but she's all upset because my bed is going to sit unmade for a couple of days. The horror! No kidding. Do your parents complain about shoes on the furniture? We're not even allowed to wear them in the house. What about when you're in the middle of something important and they make you stop so you can help them move a table or something? But if you ask them to help you, it's all about how you're interrupting and you can just wait. It's the worst. No, the worst is when your parents announce to the whole family or that the whole family is going out and they don't give you any warning at all. You just have to stop what you're doing because they are the parents and they say so. The words "because I said so" should be outlawed. So are we complaining about parents here? Heck no. Because I want to give a shout out to the people who say that Vidalia sounds interesting, but books take too long to read, so they'll just wait for the movies. I hate those people. And what's a shout in? The opposite of a shout out. Of course, I'm going to give a shout in to people who read the books, but still suck anyway. Cuff 11 girl. The best thing about turning 14 is that we can go to other chat rooms and 11 girl won't be there for at least a year. She's 11? Yeah, she was telling us one day how she was proud of her username because it looks like the word 11. Someone asked her what she was going to do when she turns 12 and she had no answer. I hate her. Me too. You know what else I hate? Pickles. It's bad enough when they put them on the side of your plate at the diner and you lose a couple of potato chips, but then they put it on a burger and ruin the whole meal. If I wanted sour veggies, I would have asked for them. Go ahead and leave off the rotten lettuce while you're at it. Well, there you have it. Everything sucks but lollipops. True story. You know what else sucks? What's that? I gotta go. That does suck. It was fun chatting with you without, a lot of people here. Yeah, it was. Good night, Jay. Good night. Profound Oak in Oaktown has left the chat. I'm hungry again before bed, so I head to the kitchen to make myself a JP PB&J. PB&J stands for peanut butter and jelly, and JP stands for me, Jillian Perillo. Aunt Alicia and Aunt Joanne doesn't have any berry jelly, only apricot jam, but it'll have to do. I use my patent technique. Someday I'll pass it on to Emma. I imagine telling her, first you take out a slice of bread. Whole wheat's okay, but no seeds or nuts or anything. Then you spread the creamy peanut butter on half. I picture her looking up at me with eager eyes. The left half or the right half? The left, I say. Okay, she asks. Which one's my left? I point and she attacks the bread with a peanut butter laden knife. The bread is a little ragged by the time she's done and she missed a whole corner, but I don't say anything. This is only her first JP PB&J. I must have made 1,000. I talk her through the next steps. Put 1 tablespoon of jelly, I recommend mixed berry, in the middle of the other half like this. I drop a dollop, spread it out, and hand the spoon to Emma for her to do the same. Then you lay another slice of bread on top. Make sure it's not the end slice. End slices are for desperate times. I cut my sandwich right down the peanut butter jelly border. Some of the peanut butter mixes with some of the jelly in the middle, but that's part of the charm, which is what you're supposed to say when homemade food isn't perfect. I imagine Emma picking up her knife and doing a pretty good job at cutting her sandwich, except she pushes a little too hard at the end and jelly squirts out on the side. And there you have it, a perfect JP PB&J, I proclaim. Well, mine is anyway, and hers isn't too bad for a first try. Now for the taste test. We pick up the peanut butter sides of our sandwiches and toast. To peanut butter. We each take a large bite. The proper way to eat a JP PB&J is to alternate bites from either side. So we pick up the other side of our sandwiches and toast once more. To jelly. I'm going to make the best big sister ever.